Hi and welcome to the McCall to Talk podcast. Got another one for you today. I think this is a really great one for all of us that have worked in professional football, in particular for players that have been in the game and come out of the game in particular, which is, well, most of them. And today I've got a lovely young man that I worked with outside of professional football after he'd come away from the game, called Andrew Osei-Bonsu, and very shortly I'm going to be talking to him. So I'm here with Andrew Osei-Bonsu. Good to see you again, Andrew. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, Andrew. And to set the scene here, if you like, we're at this beautiful arena, MK Dons. Do you know, Andrew, I just drove in and I got my missus to stop at the top of the road, and I said to my wife as she dropped me off, just look at this stadium. This is League Two.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's mad. Even when I walk in, it's like it's home to me at one point. It's just a real. I haven't been back since, honestly. And it's like, how is this League Two? You walk in, it's like Premier League standard. Luton are in the Premier League. They don't have a ground nowhere near as good as this. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's absolutely unreal. And I worked here as well for a short period of time. Yeah. So I was working at a time that you know as well, because Carl Robinson was the manager and I was doing some work with the first team.
Yeah.
So I actually knew of you and the infamous other character that we got to know very well, who's gone on and done very well. But what I'd like to do, Andrew, if I may, and by the way, thank you to the guys here at MK Dons, because straight away I texted my old boss and he said, no problem, Tony, you're always welcome, go upstairs, make yourself at home. So first of all, thank you to the club as always. People have always been very good. But let's go back, Andrew, if we may. And I want to go right back to where it started. So first of all, academy-wise, take me through the age of when it started and the bit of that academy part of your life.
Yeah, obviously I was playing local football in Milton Keynes at first, at the age of maybe 5. I didn't know I had any interest in football at all. My dad just basically threw me out there. Played in a tournament locally called Winning World Cup, and I got scouted by a few teams. Bearing in mind I hadn't actually played football. I used to play in the park for a joke, but MK Dons is one of them. So of course, as a local, I thought, why not just come train in with them? And I came in at the age of maybe 7. I used to get picked up by one of the managers, Simon Dwight. He's a top man. He used to come pick me up in a minibus from my house. Went on trial with them, and they basically signed me straight away. I was the first player in my age group that actually got signed by MK Dons and made it all the way through from under 7s with the pre-academy to the first team. So it's literally home to me, and I hold the club in high regard, because obviously they've done a lot for me, despite a bitter ending kind of. But it was incredible. It was mad, and it was like everyone knew me because I played for MK Dons, and I was like the face of my age group because I'd been there for so long, every year. So yeah, it was mad. It was a good experience, and I loved it, to be honest. It was good.
Did you feel like, Andrew, I write about these things with academies, did you feel like almost like you're on a journey, like there's only going to be one outcome here, especially when you're in it for so long, and then you get a scholarship, and then I presume you get, you must have got first year pro, yeah? So you must feel like you're just on that journey, and of course I've seen that image of you. I knew that you'd made your debut because I was in that scouting world at that time, so there was lots of people looking out for you. Your performances were unreal. I think you was unplayable at times, certainly that's in the scholar years. A lot of the circuit knew about you. Did you just feel like that was your journey now, this is going to be you?
Yeah, I literally, at that time, sky was the limit. I was so obsessed with football, and I felt like I was being taken care of when I was at MK in the sense that I felt like all the managers, the coaches cared about my development. I felt like I was developing really well. I didn't realise I could play in central midfield until I ended up playing in other positions, and then I identified my position when I got to the age of maybe 15, and I made it my own. And I really enjoyed it, and I learned how to play there, and I progressed from that period onwards, and really kicked on. So yeah, I had good coaching. I couldn't complain at my time here. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, like,
for most, Andrew, I think the stats are 0.5% of players that for whatever reason don't make it. I think you might have, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you went out on a short loan, maybe. Did you go Wealdstone? No?
I went on loan to Corby Town first.
Ah, okay.
Corby Town. And that was actually a choice I made myself.
Okay.
Which I think actually shot me in the foot. Because I decided I didn't want to play on the ratings anymore. Because I made my debut, basically, right? When I was 16, maybe. Newport County in August. That was the start of the season as a cup game. I didn't expect it. It was just the weirdest thing. And I've gone and made my debut. And after my debut, I've got loads of rumours circling around me going to Prem clubs and Cat 1 teams. And obviously, as a youngster, you get that excitement, like, oh my God, I think I got man of the match, or I done really well, playing 90 minutes, etc. And then I was like, I don't want to go back to playing on a Saturday and playing in the Youth Alliance League. It's like, I don't want to do it. I just played in the first team. I want to play in front of people. So I went and asked my manager, can I go on loan? And he goes, if you can find it, then go on. So me, Peter, actually, and another lad decided we were going to go Corby. So we went training for them. And they only wanted me out of all three of us. So I had a little loan there. As a youngster, they don't really trust you in non-league at the beginning because they don't really know much about me. So I didn't really get much game time, but it was more the experience. But it kind of shot me in the foot because Carl Robinson actually got sacked when I was on loan. So the new manager basically came in and didn't really see anything of me. So he didn't know who I was. And that really impacted his decision on whether to give me a new contract, etc., etc.
So it's almost like you're out of the scene.
Yeah. So the timing was just the worst timing. And that's what he said to me. As soon as I came back, he was like, who's this kid? And then the head of the academy was like, he's played for the first team. He's actually good. Have a look at him. By this time, they'd already made a decision who they wanted to give their new deals to and get rid of. And I wasn't in the picture, unfortunately, despite me doing well on loan. I actually think I scored 1 or 2 goals. It was a bit difficult, but...
But I can understand that, because timing is a word you mentioned there.
Yeah.
I think luck and timing are so crucial to this game because obviously people you're around and it makes such a big thing. So I guess you found yourself then in staring down the barrel of the conversation of you're being released and
that's it,
it's hard to ask this, Andrew, but I think because you're a bit older now, you can reflect 100%. More. Tell us how that felt. What was that feeling?
I've never felt rejection. I never knew how to deal with rejection until that day. It was kind of like I'm leaving home. Like, this is my home. I'm not going to be here next year. Other people are going to be here. I'm not going to be here. And to be honest, going back to that, I thought it was a blessing in disguise because I knew that there was other teams that were interested in me, but off the back of my debut. Because after making my debut, I actually played with the first team for a good few times. Because I think Potter at the time was injured. He was Darren Potter and someone else. So I played a few times. So I thought it was a blessing. But then again, now looking back on it, it wasn't. I should have stayed at MK Dons if I had the chance to. But I thought, yes, like, even though I'm getting rejected by the club that I've been at my whole life, it's like I have the chance, the freedom, instead of a team buying me or anything, I can go and walk into Cat 1, Cat 2 and just do what I want to do. But it was harder than I thought it was going to be.
Did you do them kind of exit trial things? Did you take part in any of them at all?
Nah, not at all. I literally left MK Dons within 2 days. I went to Derby. And I actually done really well at Derby as well. And they were one of the teams interested in me when I actually had left. Well, I made my debut, sorry. So they were interested, and I went there straight away. Peter came in me as well. Mm-hmm. I done really well there. I enjoyed it there as well, but I was obviously part of the under-23s. Played a few games, played against Burnley, played against QPR, scored a hat-trick. They offered me a contract, and then that's where the whole story starts at that age, and things that shouldn't have occurred at the time. And that's when I lost my love for football, my desire. I
think it's around this time that we bumped into each other, I think, Andrew, because I remember the story of Derby County.
Yeah, that's it.
And I remember some of the frustrations that you were feeling. I think when you came to me, you was, if you could take this the right way, but you looked like you were beaten. You were like a beaten boy.
Yeah.
and of course you wanted to play. Now, obviously, we was in a situation where we felt we could get you on the pitch, and again, without naming names, but I knew instantly, having worked in the game myself a lot, that I was concerned about some of the conversations around this particular agent, and I think without kind of throwing things that way, I think it's good for young people to hear your story, because if they're in that scenario, they maybe need to know that they have to be in control of their destiny, right?
100%.
Is that fair to say?
100%. If I could give advice or speak to anyone of my younger self, that would be exactly it. It took me years to get over it. I never thought I'd fall out of love with football until that period of time. I'll explain it from the start. So I've gone to Derby County based off the back of my agent telling me, you're gonna get in. Like, they want you that bad. I've gone there, scored a hat-trick, done really well. At this point, MK Dons have actually they've kind of said to me, like, we don't want you to go, even though they've already said they're not gonna give me a pro. They were like, not a pro, another contract. They were like, we don't want you to go. Like, we think you can prove yourself, kind of thing. And I thought I was too good. Like, I don't want to prove myself. Forget it. You've already said no. I'm gone. So I've gone Derby County now. And I've done really well. They've offered me a contract. And by the way, I've had this agent for about 2 years. And throughout my whole 2 years with him, he was trying to take me out of MK Don. That was his whole plan. From the minute I left him, he was like, you're too good for him.
Wow.
And his agency consists of top players: Ryan Sessegnon, Steven Sessegnon, Mark Guhi, that one that plays at Crystal Palace. Connor Gallagher. There was a few of us. There's a picture I've got somewhere, and it's got all of us. We all met up. We used to go to London. They used to give us like the new FIFA early, like wash bags, all of that for free. It's kind of like to get the players in. Like, yeah, we're the top dog. So I felt like I was one of the guys, my peers, like one of the guys, the Sessions. I felt like one of those. And so yeah, I've obviously he's told me you're gonna get in, you ain't got a problem. So I've gone there now, I've done really well. Been offered a contract, so the contract's in my face. And I didn't know anything about agency fees at this time, and like agents making money from me, and I didn't have a clue. So I've been offered a deal. It's the same deal that all the players in the under 18s had been offered that year to go into the 23. It wasn't nothing special. It wasn't like a 3-year deal. It was just a 1-year deal. But I was happy to take it because I actually enjoyed my time there. It's a stepping stone. And I finished my trial with him, and then he's gone cold on me for a week. I haven't heard from Derby either. I was thinking, I just scored a hat-trick. How are you not responding to me? But they had responded. They'd offered me the deal, but he had turned it down because he wanted to take me to Crystal Palace and Charlton, who Carl Robinson went to. And apparently there's something to do with agency fee. They didn't want to pay him this certain amount, so he didn't want to accept the deal. He thought he could take me somewhere else and I could get a deal somewhere else. I didn't know any of this. So my dad's called up the Derby County director and said to him, why have you not spoken to Andrew? Is his time done? And then he goes, by the way, his agent said to me he's putting them out, doesn't want to take the deal. We can't offer him anymore because we're just not going to do that. And you can't expect the club to offer me more than the players that have been there for years. So my dad was like, what? So he's gone absolutely mad, and he's called my agent. My agent's like, oh yeah, we didn't think it was right for him. We're going to take him to Crystal Palace. We're going to take him to Charlton. So I'm distraught. I'm like, I've been here for weeks. I've been with all the lads. I know that I'm happy here. I don't want to go anywhere. And then he goes, yeah. And so my dad's kind of like got rid of him. My dad's kind of said at the time, look, we'll deal with Derby. You go your separate way. So we tried to take it under our own hands. And Derby was a bit like, if this is a representation of you, it's not professional. We don't really want you around, like, to be honest. So they kind of like withdrawn the offer. I mean, like, we don't really want you around anymore. We've kind of got a replacement for you, because it took about 2-3 weeks for me to find out that this is what's going on. I've gone back to MK Don just to train and keep myself ticking over, but I'm kind of losing love for the game just because I was so upset for ages, and Derby didn't want nothing to do with me. And then I went to Crystal Palace. Confidence was low, I'll be honest. Didn't perform. That's the honest truth. Went Charlton with Carl Robinson again, the manager that put all the faith in me and gave me my debut, done everything for me, that guy, and up till now he's still like keeps in contact, and he was so good with all the young players. Again, didn't perform. I couldn't even expect him to sign me knowing me because I didn't play well, and that's the honest truth. I know me. I didn't. Played a few games, didn't do well. That was when my confidence was on the floor for the first time ever. I never felt like this. Didn't even feel confident getting on the ball. Let the game go past me. I was playing in the middle, just letting everything go past me. But I didn't want to get on it. Got a new agent, who, by the way, was a top man. To be honest, he was the one that really wanted Alex. His name is Alex Court. He wanted me to go in non-league. He tried to get my confidence up. When Weldstone, there was in National League South. So South, yeah, there was National League South. Again, I didn't get no game time because I'm young, so they didn't really trust me. And that was when I met you.
Yeah.
And I came to Dunstable, despite turning loads of trial opportunities. I didn't want to go on trial no more. I had my head fixated on I don't want to trial anymore. I hate it. I've had so many rejections after the first one at Duns.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anymore. Let me just go play it and then earn the right to get a move or earn it. So I kind of had that motivation still, but my love for the game, it just started sinking and going out the window, and I just felt like I was defeated. Yeah. That was it, yeah.
And when we got you in, I mean, we was in such a unique scenario ourselves because, of course, you talk about fees and wages and costs, and, well, it's an easy conversation. We haven't got any money.
Yeah.
But I tell you what I have got, and as you know, my sales pitch at the time, Andrew, was I've worked with a lot of players, and I'm talking like players that have gone on and earned careers in the game. I know about development plans. I know about, transitioning from youth and through development ages and then into first teams. And I think I'm in a really good position to help players like you. That was, of course, something that I felt was an attraction for us. And, of course, the level we're playing at is going to put you right in the window because with us, we've got no choice. You're going to play. We're not bringing in someone on £200, £300, £500 a week because we're not paying £20 a week. So, however, we're playing like at a level which is unreal. We're pretty much everyone we're playing is full of ex-pros or players that have done really well or very experienced in non-league. Lots of senior players. Teams now, you look at. I mean, Weymouth went on to the National League. Kings Lynn went on to the National League. Hereford, I don't know how, but seemed to kind of, but in my opinion, that club is unreal.
Yeah, that was mad. That was a crazy experience as well, like being 17 and even playing on a Tuesday night, leaving, was at work at the time, going all the way to Hereford as 17-year-old playing in front of all these fans.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Mad.
And I remember, Andrew, like the naivety of some of our lads. I mean, you'd been in and around pro football, but for some of our lads, I remember like we were in a proper stadium with like thousands of fans. I think it was like 2,500 fans or something. And the not conduct, but like I said, it's just not knowing like what to do on match day. So even I remember the lads were warming up behind the goal. Do you remember? And I had to tell them.
Honestly, there was some crazy characters in our team. There's never been anywhere near it. But yeah, it was mad. It was a crazy thing. That's the thing though. It's like I came out of the professional environment and I never thought I'd be. When I was at Dunstable, it felt like playing in step 3 because I knew nothing about non-league. Don't forget, I know nothing. I've been playing against Arsenal, Plymouth, all these clubs all my life. I don't know who Dunstable are. I don't know who Weldstone are. I don't know anything. Hereford. I've heard of Hereford, but I don't know who they are. I've gone there on a Tuesday night and I'm seeing fans and lights and I felt like a pro again. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a good feeling, man. And I'm with my friends as well, PR, and just it was good, man. Even though we didn't win, it was just good to be there, man.
But you guys that day, that particular game at Hereford. We if you remember as well, we opened up the kit bag. So we haven't got like all the staff and all the things, but we opened up the kit bag and we had no socks. So because we're rushing and we're so desperate, like we're just throwing things in cars and whatever and we rock up there and I'm going to their dressing room with my head down going, guys, could you lend us some socks?
Honestly, this is on league for you though, isn't it? Literally, it was crazy.
But they were great. And actually, after the game, I mean, God, I just remember, God love him, Ryan went down the wing on a counter-attack, but we were hanging in there and we were battling and fighting and we thought Ryan was going to score and he just missed and then the crowd beyond the goal knew it as well. But the great thing was, yes, we did get beat, but I don't know if you remember the standing ovation we got from them Hereford fans after the game. Do you remember that, Andrew?
No, we tried, man. We actually tried, and one thing about our team, we had a lot of battlers, and we had character, we had heart, man. So to be fair, we deserved it. Even though it was rock bottom, everyone expected to beat us. We were known as the kids in the league, but we had heart, man. So I feel like we deserved it. We came up from Milton Keynes or Dunstable to Hereford on a Tuesday night, and we actually gave them a good game, man. So.
And I remember as well, like driving home. This happened quite a lot, actually, Andrew. Because when you first came in, you know, obviously like this battered little boy, you know, and I mean that respectfully. Now you're much older, I guess you can look back and you probably would agree with that. But sometimes we'd be coming home from these grounds in this bus that we borrowed off the local school as well, by the way. And I used to, you wouldn't know this, but I'd sit looking across and smiling, you know, because I don't know how good you thought you were. I'm not talking football now. I'm talking about singing.
Singing?
Yeah. Do you not remember? You and Peter used to sit in the back of the bus and you were singing. Do you remember?
Me and Peter were characters. We used to love it. I don't even remember.
Do you not remember that?
No.
We were nudging each other. Listen to these two in the back, and you're rapping and singing.
Oh yeah, they're rapping. I believe that 100%. Yeah. We used to do that. Gideon was involved as well.
The three of you, the three amigos, and you're like doing this, like really this rapping stuff, and I'm just laughing and trying to stop myself laughing because I think if they hear me laughing, they're going to stop. But I wish I'd recorded it.
Yeah, they were memories. Honestly, I remember the days now. I think Ethan Lamptey was there as well.
Ethan as well. Another one that, you know, we've been in at Northampton, right? God love him. And we went down to that cup game in Kent on the plastic pitch. That team have gone on and done well. And, they targeted him, man. He was a young boy. And it was typical non-league. Do you know what? Let's wipe out someone. Yeah. And they wiped him out. And okay, maybe they'd gone in heavy. Maybe didn't think they were going to injure him that badly, but it turns out they did. Yeah. It was a horrible injury, do you remember?
Do you know what's mad though? You know, Ethan is probably, I always say this to everyone that I speak to, he's probably the best player I've seen at academy level.
He was so good.
He was so good.
Yeah.
And he used to play in the tenant, but he used to take so many risks, as in like he was fearless. Like even me, people think I was fearless back then, but I wouldn't do some of the things he would do, and it would work. And people would snap him in half and just... He was left-footed as well. He just looked like such a pretty footballer, man.
He's one of them that I would say, you know that float across the floor?
Yeah.
Like he could take touches and he'd just float, and he's multi-directional and floating around, and such a lovely young man as well. Yeah. That's where I think I grew, you know, where I got so attached to you lot. You know, I think obviously you were young guys as well, and I'd have like a lot of you as well. I had your parents ringing me and... You know, like as if this is men's football, but I recognise as well as a parent, these parents care about their youngsters and they want what's best for them. And so, I mean, I didn't get everything right all the time either, but it was definitely like at times as well heartbreaking. Like that thing with Ethan, you know, my heart sunk when I see him keel over. I knew instantly that's a nasty one. Yeah. And do you know what? He didn't recover from that. Actually, he never did. I don't know where he is now. Or
no. You don't. To be fair, me and him are close. He's been my brother since he was young. He don't play football at all anymore. I think Dunstable must have been his last club. He kind of fell out of love after leaving Northampton as well. He deserved the pro 100%. I'd say anyway, but came Dunstable. Obviously, I convinced him. I told him a good place to be. Me, Peter are there. Obviously, Ethan was at Dons with us when he was younger, so he kind of wanted to be back with the boys and that.
Yeah.
So he came back and obviously he was kind of injury prone as well. He got that injury that day, and he just thought, nah, I can't do this anymore. And it was unfortunate, man, because he was such a good footballer, and he's someone who's again come from when he was really young. All the way through Dons, didn't really quite make it. Went to Northampton, so got another chance at academy level. Done really well, was their main player, and then they gave him an extended scholar again because he was injury prone. So they didn't really know what to do with him. And then
I sort of that extended scholar, extended scholar, or third year scholar sometimes it's called. Not a fan of that, Andrew. I really think that's a cop-out from football clubs. Well. You know, and I remember there was a lad at QPR, actually, I bumped into him in non-league, and he said to me, and I said to him at the time, I really don't think you should take it. And it's hard for young because they think, but I'm still around the club, I'm still playing. To me, a lot of that, at times, I'm not saying for everyone, but it's almost like you're making the numbers up for their under-23 squad. So because if they were serious about you, they'd give you a pro, right? That's the way I feel anyway.
I think I never got given a third year or anything, but I feel like if you do, I understand people get injured and stuff and it might not be fair, and I get it, but I just feel like unless they've been injured throughout their whole 2 years scholarship, you kind of know their progress and where they're going to be, whether you really think they'll push on or. I don't think giving them 6 months extra or a year extra is really going to make you think, alright, he's going to. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. So to wrap up this Dunstable part of the journey, Andrew, I do want to mention there was. You was a challenge at times, but you were as a young man, right? Yeah, so that's fine, that's cool, because that's football, and not everyone is going to get on all the time, and maybe you're thinking some things I'm saying or doing isn't right, and vice versa. That's normal. I'm comfortable with that. But there was, I think there was a spell where I really started to think. You mentioned falling out of love with the game, and people didn't really get you, Andrew, if I'm honest, because I knew that you was upset with yourself, you was upset at your scenario, you wanted everything to be good. It's like I could tell you how good you are, but it's like you were deaf to it. You weren't really taking it in, because I think maybe your confidence and self-belief was so gone that you were deafened to compliments, Yeah. And then that manifested itself at times with. Sometimes your body language would be like, I'm not really having it. Yeah. But do you know what? And you said the word attitude there, Andrew. It's like I had people around me going, take him off. Yeah. That's not on, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, you don't understand, because I know what that you're going through. Yeah, and I wanted to try and just leave you as long as I could. You could do something, right? I described this recently to someone. When you used to pick the ball up from the edge of our own box, bear in mind, we're a load of kids, very difficult to get on the ball. We've got very clever, tactical, older, wiser players around us, bullying as well and doing all the old school things. But you could pick the ball up on the edge of our own box and reach the attacking box. The only person I know that I've seen live was actually in charity football, playing against John Joe Shelby. He was the only player that could eat the pitch up. Patrick Vieira style. Yeah. Just open the legs, and you could just eat the pitch up in absolute heartbeat. And I don't know anyone that could ever do that. And I used to say it to you, and I don't ever think you even listened. It was like you were so beaten, and it's a shame that it manifested itself where people thought, Andrew's got some kind of attitude problem. I don't think you did. I think you were just hurt.
I was hurt. That is the word. But looking back on it, I didn't even realise that was the case. But you know what it is? It's crazy, because I came into Dunstable with my confidence on 0. But I don't think you realised that you gave me the confidence that I didn't have, because before Dunstable I had no confidence. As in, I didn't even want to get on the ball. I came Dunstable, even though we was losing every game and I'd lose my head, I'm playing. So I was happy, and my manager being you, let me do anything I wanted to do on the pitch. I wouldn't take the mickey, obviously, but I could get on it. I was paying a 10, but I had freedom. I could go on. I used to drift out to the left a lot of the time. It was just a habit. And then first game we played, we hadn't won all season. I came on. I think I started actually. I scored. So it was like I had confidence, and it's like, this is what I always say. There's no manager that's ever given me confidence in my whole career. There's 2. There was you, Carl Robinson, and now Joe Dean. Everyone else, I'll get onto it a bit later. It's a bit like they're good guys and that, but they care more about, I don't know, maybe obviously the team obviously comes first, but you know when you have a man manager, someone that really puts their arm in and says you're good or whatever. That was what you was really good at. So back to the original question. I knew how good I was, but it was like I felt like I wasn't doing enough because we was losing. I didn't realise the situation we was in as a club, as in I didn't realise that we're not actually meant to be pushing for the title. We're kind of like under par. We've got players that are not at the level, including myself probably. And I didn't realise that because I was so used to playing for MK Dons winning every week. So it was just like, and I remember, do you remember there was one time where We played St. Neots. And me and you had never had an argument before.
We clashed. I know. I remember it.
That day we clashed for one day.
Yeah.
But again, we clashed, and you gave me a warning, as in like I won't accept that. And I remember, I think I messaged you and apologised. I remember I spoke to my dad about when I got home, and I apologised.
I can add to it, Andrew. Yeah. So I had to kind of like put a marker down because it was so public.
Yeah.
And we clashed in the dressing room, and by the way, what was said in there will stay in there as always.
Cool,
That's
cool,
that,
cool.
and you're cool with that. I'm cool with that. But it was because it was public.
Yeah.
I said to you that unfortunately I can't let it go. And actually, what happened is, I don't know if you know this, but your dad phoned me. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So your dad phoned me, and a little bit when I saw his number come up, I was thinking, oh no. Yeah, oh no, he's going to tear me apart here. But you know what? Your dad was lovely, Andrew. Honestly, he was so respectful, and because of that, I was totally honest with him. I told him where I thought you was at. I also told him, I'll be honest with you, that I know you mentioned a guy that you was really happy with, but I felt like you was a little bit distracted with trying to push the move.
Oh yeah.
Too quickly, whereas my opinion was, if you could just get your head down and start loving the game again, these offers will come back to you rather than you having to go chase them and be distracted by it. That was my only thing. Plus, to get over the hurt. So me and your dad had a real heart-to-heart. You, again, this is probably news to you. You never knew this, I guess.
Didn't know.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, and me and your dad had a great relationship, obviously, after that, because I get it. He's a parent, just because but you was a young guy, he was just wanted the best for you. He knew, I think, you'd been let down. You mentioned 2 other guys, by the way, just a quick one on Carl. I was in this stadium working for another club and bumped into Carl, and I spoke about you and Peter in particular, and Gideon, and Carl was saying, I was so glad when I heard they were with you because I knew you were someone that would give them a chance and blah blah. So Carl was very complimentary. He was actually, I think, suggested that he wasn't exactly over the moon that you weren't at this club anymore and stuff. But that's football, Andrew, right? We understand that. And Joe, just quickly on that one, so Joe, obviously I go back many years, probably 12, 15 years or something. And I'm really glad you're with him now. But at that time, yes, we clashed. You had a great conversation with your dad, and then I'm bringing you back to what you now recalled, which is you did. You took humbleness, and you then set about apologising, and we had a proper heart-to-heart. And I think from there, not only manager, player, trying to help you along the way. I think then we became a really blossoming and great relationship, and someone ever since I've respected hugely.
Yeah, of course, 100%. I always had major respect for you regardless, and it was actually me that I actually said to my dad I want to apologise. I told him what happened. Normally I wouldn't. I'd just be like, whatever, I just had an argument with the manager, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I was just like that, but I was like, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave my friends. Didn't even it was losing. It was losing, and I didn't want to leave. It was weird, and I was like, I need to apologise, but I don't want to call him. I didn't have the confidence to even just call him and be like, I just felt like I didn't want to do it. So he was like, he didn't actually tell me he was going to do it. I just remember getting a text. I don't know if you text me or I text you or Peter text me. Someone text me, and then we got speaking again. And then I remember I was back within a week, and then we played Kings Lynn away. I remember the game that came back as well, and that's the game you was talking about with Peter and the picture. So I remember exactly the time. I remember all my memories at Dunstable, the first time, and it was mad looking back on it. It was just, if I could go back here, I would. There's so much things I would change, and my body language is one of them, because I've been getting told ever since I was at MK Dons. Body language. It looks like you're not interested. And my dad used to tell me relentlessly all the time, body language. You look like you're sure and you're not interested. Because I was one of those people, without the ball, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
With the ball, give it to me, I want to do something with it. So it's just like, if I could coach myself now, my younger self, there's so many things I'd change. And it's like, it's mad that people like you and Carl Robinson, and they always tell you in the now, you need to concentrate, you need to sort out your body language, but you won't listen, and I didn't listen. Yeah. And now looking back on it, I watch my old self and I'm like, why are you walking around the pitch like that? Why are you sulking? Yeah. Just get on with it, Andrew.
Yeah, but as a result of that, we got you back, and actually we we put in some unbelievable performances. We should never have been competing against some of these teams, and we were, and everyone knew it. Like the Gosport game, even when their chairman, I can't repeat the words I said to him, but
Gosport, is that when I broke my finger?
Away, you broke your finger away when that made me nearly throw up.
Gosport at home. When we had back end of the season, we had game after game after game.
Yeah, we had to have 4 games in a week, and there's a big crowd for the Gosport game at home, and we really fought. It was amazing, right?
It was mad. All my mates came. They never come to watch Dunstable.
And they wheeled out like Rowan Vine and McAllister and all these ex-pros, and we were like, and we're still absolutely banging the game.
We lose that game.
Unfortunately, we did in the end, but we drew in the 4 games. Unfortunately, we did lose 2 of them, but by the end, Andrew, Peter, I remember, we haven't really spoke about Peter too much, but God love him. He put he never left anything, right? Never left anything on the pitch, and he was completely shot to bits. By the times we got to the last game through,
I remember the game exactly as well. That's what I'm saying. Peter could have been captain at that age.
Easy,
he had everything.
And we joked earlier, maybe. But we said about what it takes to be pro, and I looked at Peter sometimes, and I saw this lad. He was 17? 17. Yeah. And this old, experienced lad stuck one on Peter, probably thinking he's a young boy. Yeah, he's getting forward. He's influential. He's kind of like dominating the game. So I'll stick one on him. Yeah. And then there was a picture in the back of the press, local press, of Peter, seemingly with this header with the lad. Well, I knew Andrew. Peter went, I'm not having that. Yeah. And he went to this older guy and he absolutely nailed him. And I actually turned to the guys next to me and went, that lad's going to go far, 100%. Because
even if he had no technical ability at all, the fact that he's got that fight, any manager would take him to war. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, if you play for Joe Deeney now, Joe Deeney would love him.
He would love him, wouldn't he? Because he's Joe's type of player.
Joe's type of player goes to war for
absolute winner. And at times as well, again, if you wanted to be really, I don't know, if you wanted training to have loads of marching soldiers and behaving and not, then you wouldn't want you and winners like you and Peter about, because even training, he was so aggressive in training, wasn't
Gideon as well.
And Gideon was like double Larry, and we're like, Gideon, it's just with training, and he'd be like, no, he's like losing his head when he training. But it's because they take everything seriously and they want to win, right?
Yeah, they want to win, and that's, to be honest, that's why Peter is where he is. He's a born winner, and full props to him, man. He works hard and he's worked hard. It's not like he's relied on natural talent. He's literally worked for everything he's got right now. So all props to him. Man.
Yeah, good on him. And when I've seen him, Andrew, I've seen him a few times now. He was at Luton actually. I saw him at half time there. He come running over. Always hugely respectful. Obviously, like I say, it's a stage and a part of your life. I always thought this when I worked in academies. These kids are not going to forget things. So if especially when you get a bit older, you're part of a section of their life they're not going to forget. And I'm glad that I think most people I bump into, some will think I was an idiot, some will think I made bad decisions, and I did make bad decisions at times. What they don't know is I had a lot going on as well, Andrew, 100%. In my private life, so no, I wasn't. Things weren't always great, and also what you didn't even know, off the pitch, there was times, I don't know if you remember, they turned the floodlights off in our training.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm blagging it with you guys, thinking, there's a mistake. But I knew that the people that owned the stadium were like turning the floodlights off. And when I spoke to our people, they were like, it's because we've got to pay an extra amount of money for the extra time. And actually, one of the people, without naming names, that's still at that club, was putting his hand in his own pocket to try and pay for the floodlights to stay on. Yeah, seriously. It was just, and that didn't sit right with me. I thought, I can't have good people paying their own money for them. No, we can't be doing that either. So there was so much going on. But look,
that's one thing about Dunstable though. So many good people there, man, and that's why I wanted to come back as well. Just so many good people, and even when you was there and everything you was going through, it felt like we was all going through it.
It was always when you got to that last week, even we felt like the league was against us, the clubs were against us. We felt injustice. We shouldn't. Who at what level has to play 4 games, including going all the way to Somerset, in 1 week. I had things personally, business-wise, my house, my wife, who was critically ill. We had all of this going on. And even we had one of the lads whose wife had breast cancer.
There we go, yeah.
You remember?
So much going on.
And we've got people like you who are like, you're deserted in this wilderness, where am I going to go after?
Yeah. There was so much going on, man. But one thing I will say is I feel like we was together, man. Like, everything that was going on in your life, I felt like we all knew about it. We all wanted to fight for you. We didn't want you to come all the way to Hereford and have a rubbish time and get battered. We wanted to fight, and it felt like that. And we'd have separate conversations like that. We need to do this for Tony. Like, he doesn't get paid from this. We don't get paid from this. We all come here on a Tuesday train. We all want to get push on, and he can help us. So it's like, let's help him. So that's how that was what it felt like. And that was the conversations we had separately. So it was like, these are the reasons why I apologise, and let's help each other out here, man. And then it felt like a real togetherness, and that's why. Again, like I say,
it was a hell of a journey, and I bumped into one of the lads actually outside the stadium here, Nathan Harness. I've just seen him, which is great. We had 5 or 6 players that went on to be, full-time players elsewhere. You was one of them, Andrew. So I guess it would be, we need to cover maybe at least briefly some of the journey you went on after that, because again, because I built this relationship with your dad. You may not know it, but your dad was in conversation with me about my view on certain offers you were getting, and one of them was to go to Northern Ireland. I won't lie to you, it worried me slightly, in your persona and your age, but then I thought as well, I remember going to Devon when I was a young kid, and somehow it can turn you into an adult, but you're out on your own. But anyway, talk us through post that period, Andrew, because I think you went on to there and then maybe on from where you went from there.
Post Dunstable?
Yeah.
Before I even went to Northern Ireland, remember I went on trial with Huddersfield.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did you? And I think should I name the names? But Sunderland, I think, was in and around as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't go there. Oh no, I did go there. I went
you
for
did?
both actually. Yeah, I went Sunderland. Played a game for them. I actually done really well there. They wanted me to come back, but I don't know why I did. I decided I wanted to go Huddersfield, but Huddersfield I had a stinker. I'll be honest. I was thinking, because I went to Huddersfield for one day and I had a game for Dunstable that night against Weymouth, and I was just thinking about, I don't want to do too much today because I have a game tonight. So I was on trial at Huddersfield, thinking about the game at 7:45 against Weymouth, and I went from Huddersfield, came all the way straight down. My agent dropped me straight to Dunstable and played the game. I played really well as well, and I think we only lost 1-0. But no, we won. We beat Weymouth that day. We beat Weymouth.
I think Charlie Black scored a goalie, if you remember.
That day,
and actually, that game was Nathan, who I've just bumped into outside. Nathan's debut was at Weymouth.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you this quick story. I remember thinking, like, get Nathan on the ball. We're a team, we're up against it nearly from the first whistle to the last, we're up against it. So the keeper probably has more touches than our striker most of the time. Do you know what happened, Andrew? We started and were terrific. Yeah, Nathan, God love him, he didn't touch the ball for about 15 minutes. It was like someone passed to him.
I remember that game was... Yeah, but this is what I'm saying though, it's crazy though. I've been working the whole season to try and get a trial. I've gone on trial to Huddersfield and I'm not even focused on the trial. I'm focused on tonight's game against Weymouth. And it was just a weird position, like weird mindset, man. I was actually concentrating on just doing well for my club rather than... I remember training in the morning at Huddersfield and I'm just thinking, I don't even want to run too much. I don't even think I told you I was going to play. I think I told you I might not. But I wanted to play. I was looking forward to it. But yeah, man, it was a weird one. But yeah, after Dunstable, I had a few offers, to be honest, but they were all non-league. But my main thing at the time was I wanted to go full time, man. I just thought like that's the way I can get my love for football again. So I didn't get many full-time offers at that time. I don't think. I had trials, and I was not a fan of trials. I felt too many rejections at the time, and I felt like trials not. But then there was one offer that I had. It was a weird one, Northern Ireland. Never heard of the team, never heard anything. Don't know how they even knew who I was, to be honest. I think, do you know that's weird? It's LinkedIn. I feel like that pushed that move. But anyway, my name got brought out over there. Me and a lad called Ben Tony, who was at MK Dons with me. We both went over there together. And to be honest, I didn't know what it was going to be like. I had no idea. This was their first year being full-time. They were the only full-time team in the league. So again, advantage. But they knew me as a central defensive midfielder because that was my transfer market said that MK Dons highlights I was playing there. Even though I kind of gone to Dunstable and developed to be more of an attacker. I found more of an identity playing as an attacker. So I was like, I've gone to Northern Ireland, they've identified me as a defensive midfielder. I played there, really enjoyed it, to be honest. Again, my confidence wasn't as high. I was in a new environment, living by myself, or I was living with the other lad actually. New culture, everything was just new to me. Cold, different type of football, everything was just so different. And I started off really well though. I went there, done really well. Just in a starting lineup. But then I started to get like homesick, and I thought that's a lot to do with my character. I've never been away from home, never been away from my mum and my dad. I started to miss home, and I started like booking flights to go home like on a regular occurrence, and it was affecting me. I'd go back and I'd be like, I don't even want to go back to Ireland. So then there was one time, again, we played a game on a Saturday. I played 90 minutes. I've got in my car. I've gone on a ferry with my car. This is the first time I've ever gone on a ferry. And I've gone back to London, and Liverpool. And then I've gone home back to Milton Keynes. And I got home and I said to my dad, I don't want to go back, And my dad's telling me, because my dad's a bit strict. He's a bit like, you're on a 2-year contract. You've got to go back. You can't just walk. So I don't want to. And he goes, what do you mean? And he's really livid. Like, he's angry because he doesn't want me to give up. I shouldn't be giving up. And he's like, you want to come back and play non-league? I was like, yeah. And I was being serious, and he thought I was joking. And I just never went back. I called the manager on the Monday. He was like, why are you not on training? And I was like, I can't do it anymore. I just don't want to do it. Mentally, I can't live away from home. And I was just so mentally weak. Like, it was such a good opportunity. Really thinking about it, it's like you're playing full time. You got your own house. You're getting paid. Well, you're on a 2-year contract. They're playing in the Champions League now. They're playing Europe now.
I've seen Larne, they've gone on and done really well. They had huge investment, I think, from the owners.
They're playing Europe now, so I could have been there. I was on a 2 years ago. I was playing every game. I was one of the fans' favourites. Again, decisions. And I made the wrong decision. I came back to join St. Ives and just thought I have a better chance. I was still only 18, maybe 19 at the time. I thought like I had a better chance of playing football full-time in England if I played non-league again. If I'd done it all over again, the Dunstable journey, done it all over again, just at a different club. But I had another chance, and it was the wrong decision, to be honest. But again, football is all about decisions, So.
Yeah. So Andrew, you've of course you played at some non-league clubs. You mentioned St. Ives. I think you had a couple of spells there, and you found yourself back at Dunstable. And Joe, I worked at Luton with Joe. He's one of my good friends. What an unbelievable character, by the way.
Yeah, he's mad.
He's
actually a top man, to be honest. Yeah. He is the reason. I was at I had an option to go to another club in the same league and 2 clubs back in step 3 as well. But he's called me and he's just honest. And that's the massive thing with you as well, is honesty. Honesty is such a big thing in football. No one realises it until you grow up. A lot of people lie to you. Agents, managers, assistant managers, club directors, chairmen, they will lie and lie and lie just to keep you happy and keep you there. And the best people in football are the ones that are honest, and you'll know they're honest straight away. From the way when they pick up the phone to you, what they're going to say to you, you're going to know as soon as they pick up the phone, he's an honest guy. And that's what I noticed, because Joe reminded me a lot of you. He didn't kind of like mess me around and say, or blow smoke up my arse or anything. He was just straight to the point. Look, I want you. You're going to do this. We're going to develop this way. This is how I want my team to set up. You're going to be an integral part. Are you fit? I need you to be this fit. Everything, the stats, everything. He's got it all intact, and it's just like, wow. I ain't had this since. and have this, and also the freedom to play. That's a big thing for like people. Someone that's come out with someone like MK Dons or whatever, or Luton, whatever. Let him enjoy his football, man.
Yeah.
So and I felt that straight away. So yeah, it was good. It was good, and he's a big character as well. It's good to have someone like that around, confident, and yeah, I feel confident now, man.
Yeah.
He gives me that confidence and believes that I'm the best player in the team. Even if I don't start a game, he will tell me how good I am, and that's so similar to you. And that's what I said to you the other day when I saw you. Like, sometimes you need that. All these years since I last worked with you, I ain't had that. I've been the best player at some clubs, but I wouldn't know it. It would maybe be the fans. I might see a tweet or he played really well. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So Andrew, talk us through, if you may, like you say about LinkedIn. I see, like it must be. It's hard. I think it's hard to come to terms with when you think I'm not a footballer. Yeah. You know, when you've had that. I said it carefully because I think I know so many people. It's hard to say. It's hard to say I'm not a footballer when you've done it and that's what you were. It's like, I don't know. Say you get your hair cut and they say, "What do you do?" And I even as a coach, sometimes when I come out of it after 25 years, I sit in the hairdressers. Believe it or not, I go hairdressers. And what do you do? And like, I'm used to saying, you know, like it's almost not boasting, but you're quite proud of what you're doing, you know.
Yeah.
And when you don't say that anymore, it's sometimes I think that's hard to get your head around. So I just wanted to, what's that realisation like for you?
That's a good question, to be fair. I didn't actually realise I wasn't actually a footballer until, because obviously I went to Scotland as well, and before I went to Scotland I was at Billericay, so I was.
And these are proper clubs, by the way. So Scotland, I mean, we passed Scotland. Sorry, and that's proper football club.
It was good that they were obviously in the professional league as well. Again, I left there again because of homesickness, which is when I just felt like I'm not a footballer. I'm not a footballer because I can't even leave my comfy environment. I can't even leave my comfortable environment. I can't step out of my comfort zone. Yeah, and I don't want it enough. Because there's people that go to Egypt or wherever, Asia, to go play football because they want it. And I can't even go Ireland and Scotland because I'm getting homesick and I miss home. And I'm just like, I must not want it enough. And that was when I realised, bro, I can't be the guy that I thought I was. I can't be a footballer. Because as a footballer, you need to be able to sacrifice. Yeah, as in, it's your career and a professional. Yeah, and I weren't willing to do certain things that other people were. Because if I can guarantee, if you tell Peter go and play in Finland for 6 months, he will be there with a smile on his face, and he will stay for the whole 6 months. Yeah. I might go there for 2 months and be like, I can't do it, and that was my problem, and that was what. Yeah, that's what it is, man. It's hard realizing that as you grow up. Because I'm 25 now. From when I was young, I made my debut at 16 now, so almost 10 years ago, and I was a footballer. Everyone in Milton Keynes knew me as a footballer. Everyone still calls me a footballer at Milton Keynes because growing up, he was that kid that used to play for him. He was a joke. He was this. He was that. And where'd you play now? Sometimes I get asked, where'd you play now? Oh, I'm at Dunstable. Oh, and it's like people are just a bit like. That's what you realise. Yeah. So quick, the 10 years has gone by so quick, and you've got to realise sometimes that it just wasn't for me. Even though it can still be, I'm still young. I could go anywhere in the game. I could still play National League.
Well, you never say never. But there was a spell, Andrew, where you say conversations that happened not behind my back, but obviously lads that knew about my personal circumstances and were trying to help. Well, I'm telling you, there was conversations that were happening about you, and I think there was a good few of us, including your friends, by the way. Some of the names have come up on this already. We were worried about you because it seemed to us like this guy's not coping with this, you know, like from this transition, if you like, into the real world, you know. And I think it was a worry. Was it justified, do you think, Andrew, that and this happens, right? I mean, people get into very bad, dark places as a result of this game, you know. Was that maybe something you think you was in?
Yeah, 100%. I was lost. I was obsessed with the thought of being a footballer, if that makes sense. So I was obsessed with the thought of it, but I was lost, as in I didn't know what to do. I I was getting, again, like I said before, managers that just lied, that would say you're going to do this, but I wouldn't do it. I would lose form. And like, I was lost, and I had no one to guide me because I stopped trusting agents. So it's not like I had an agent that would be like, oh, okay, like, let's get back on track. This is what I want you to do this year. Target A, target B, target C. It wasn't like that. I would literally just wing it. Like, I would join a club. All right, if I do, I'll do. If I don't, I'll don't. I just lost my way a little bit for years, and then lockdown happened. At the time, I was at Billy Ricky. Things were going well. Then National League South. I had Jamie O'Hara. Again, he was okay. He was a good guy, but managing wise, wasn't really my kind of manager. If that makes sense. Went there again, lost a lot of confidence there, and then lockdown happened. I put on weight. I locked off football for. That was when I was thinking I don't even think I might even play football for a bit. Then I decided again. I found my way again. I'm gonna do this again. I started going to the gym. I was smashing out the gym. Lockdown got lifted. Went on trial. Went to Scotland. Went on trial for 2 teams in Scotland. One was in the Scottish Champ, one was in the Scottish League One. Got an offer from both. The team in League One said I was gonna play. The team in the Champ was like, you're gonna be a bench player. So I went to the League One team, played. That's when I felt like I found my way again. I was enjoying it again though. I'm away from home, it's cold, different environment. Again, couldn't have that. Came back. So yeah, you're right, I did lose my way. And I can admit that now. Now that I'm older, I can admit a lot. I can look back at a lot of things and I know where I went wrong. If I could speak to my younger self, there's so many things I'd say. If I had a son, there's so many things I'd tell him. Listen, just listen. The people that are looking after you know a lot more than you do. And that's one thing that I can tell people on this podcast. Listen to your environment, listen to the good people, because they have your best interest at heart. And there's a lot of good people in the game, man. Yeah,
and that, I think, is life, Andrew. There is a lot of wrong uns about.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people out for themselves.
Yeah.
This game is full of people that will trample over their own grandma to get to where they've got to go to, you know. We all know that. But there's equally a load of good people. And I've met so many good people in this game, really honest, and they genuinely do care. They're not out for themselves. So I think that's really good advice, and I appreciate your honesty, Andrew. And I'd like to, if I may, finish with what are you doing now? And is there anything that anyone could do to help you? You know, what are you doing for a living?
I work at a school, so I'm doing I do coaching at a school, like after school clubs, breakfast clubs and all that at a school. And I own my own business now, a one-to-one business. It's basically, I'm a mentor as well. So like, I own a one-to-one business, group sessions, one-to-ones, two-to-ones, and to work on your confidence, technical ability, and I also like to mentor people, because I feel like a lot of kids, I got a lot of mentoring without realising when I was younger. So for example, meeting Carl Robertson, I was getting mentored, I was getting taught a lot of things, but I didn't realise I was getting mentored. So I put on my Instagram, by the way, AD Soccer School, on Instagram, all social media, I put on there that I'm a mentor as well, because I feel like a lot of the knowledge that I've been given, I can pass on. So all the things I've been taught, all the things not to do, to help somebody or a child or whatever it is, just words of advice and lead them into the right directions, and not to make some of the mistakes I made when I was younger. So yeah, man, I'm building that at the moment, and it's going really well, to be honest. And I've got kids from 4 to 16. I'm in Northampton, Milton Keynes, Dunstable. I'm all over the place. I can get there. So yeah, it's going really well. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it.
Well, that's fantastic, Andrew. And I would say in my career, over 25 years coaching, whatever, there are thousands of people that can do one-to-one coaching, that can teach someone how to pass and receive a football, and go through, ball manipulation and all, 1v1s and all these wonderful stuff, and you can learn it academically. And I think that's not to say you're not a great coach, but I'll tell you one thing I think you've got huge value in is when you say about mentoring, the experience you had. Clubs should be wheeling you in to talk to their young scholars, their first year pros, getting you involved with some of these lads that get released. I think you've got a huge value there. The football authorities need people like you, because let's be honest, some lads can feel really lost, you know, and because you've experienced it, you can't buy that, Andrew. So I think it's really valuable, and I'd like to finish it up by letting you know that I think you're extremely valuable to this football industry. Your Instagram and social media, your tweet, FaceSpace, what's it called? What are your social medias again? Let's get everyone to get on there and follow you.
AOB_32. That's me on all socials. I think on Twitter I'm Andrew _Osei-10. But yeah, that's me. That's my socials. Yeah, that's me. And then on my coaching account is AB Soccer School. So yeah, that's me on all social media. So yeah, just there I'm helping everyone I'm helping mentor everyone, and I've got videos up of my coaching, my business and stuff like that. So yeah, just drop me a DM. I'm always open to talk and help someone, because you know it's priceless, me being able to help another one coming through the ranks or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm always available. Just drop me a DM.
Great stuff. Well, thank you, Andrew. I'm going to close this now, and I've got to say that is one of the best hours of talking I think I've ever had. I've really enjoyed it, mate. It's been great to see you again. I'll be down to Dunstable, obviously, to see you with Joe and the lads and that as well. So take care, my friend.